రే 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 ఇరగదీసావు కదరా.
రే పని పిల్లోడా ఎవర్రా నువ్వు?
సతీష్, రే సతీష్, పంది పిర్రలోడా.
ఎందుకు పోయా మాడి దాకా ఇస్తావు?
అది నేను అడగాల, వాడు ఎందుకు అన్నాడు అది.
ఏ పిచ్చిపోక మాట.
రే
పిచ్చిపోక రావడ్డావు. వెలుగు.
Hi everyone. Very good evening to all of you guys. I hope everyone doing extremely well. Sorry for the last session. I was really unwell. That's why I was not able to take the last session, and I'm not feeling that good for the today as well. So maybe the intensity that on which I generally teach will be a little bit low. I have a swelling in my vocal cords, so doctor asked me to not speak loud or to speak more. That's why I canceled the last class. But yeah, I will try my best to deliver the session with all the details, and I will try to explain everything. Okay. Let's wait 2 more minutes, then we will start. By the way, one more thing. Do you guys are getting any background noise? Any type of music or loudspeaker noise? Yes, no, from my mic. Because there is a one function in going on at my neighborhood, so they are like playing loudspeakers. No, oh great, thanks to my headphones. Okay, that's great. Yeah, wait for 2 minutes, huh? Then we will.
ప్రభు
Okay, guys. So let's start the session. I'm clearly audible now because I'm not speaking so loud today. So I'm clearly audible. Okay, great. Okay. So in the last class of the Python, we actually discussed about how to print something, right, on the screen. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry. So in the print statement, we learn that if we are writing something, okay, like for example, hello world. Okay. So whatever we are writing between these two quotes, okay, that will be the output that we will receive on the screen, right? And similarly, we saw that we can also print some numbers. So in terms of number, so if you are just writing 5 without any quotes, then it will write 5. Okay. If you are writing print and with quotes 5, okay, then also it will give you the output as 5, right? Now the question is then what is the difference between these two? Is there any difference? Okay, what will happen if we are only writing the print statement and I'm not using these quotes? Okay, let's say hello. Directly I'm writing without any quotes. Then we saw that we actually got some error that particular day. Okay, so if I just take a new file and we will quickly revise this, what we saw earlier. Okay, so I just open my Jupyter and take a new notebook. Okay, let me zoom it. I'm writing print hello world, right? And I've just run it. So the shortcut of running any cell in Jupyter is Shift plus Enter. Okay, the shortcut is what? Shift plus Enter. Okay, then that particular cell will run. Okay, now we can see that okay, this is giving me the output. And if I'm just writing print and then I'm writing file. So I did not written the quotes over here. Still, it is giving me the output. Strange. Okay. What about if I just write it in quotes? Interesting. It is giving me the output in both of the cases. So what if I write this hello world without these quotes? Then what will happen? Okay. So I got an error. That is a syntax error. Okay. So what is this error and why we are getting it? Why it is working over here and not working with the numbers, but not with the alphabets? Okay, so for understanding these things, we need to understand the data type in Python. Okay, this is something you guys already know in a common language, but into the Python, we have the data types. Okay, so if I just erase everything. Okay, now what we have to understand is that's our today's topic that is called as a data type. Okay, now what is this data type? Let's try to see that. So in Python, every particular variable that we have, it is actually a data type. Okay, what is a variable and all these things we will discuss. But first, let's try to understand this part. So first thing is, in just like in our real world, we have in real world what we have numbers, correct? We have some numbers, and we also have some alphabets. Okay. or some alphanumeric characters, right? We have these things in the real world. When we are talking about the numbers, then how many different types of numbers we have? One type of number that we have is called as integer, correct? Basic integer that goes from minus infinity to 0. Okay, this will be -1, -2 on this side, and then 1, 2, 3, and then it will go till infinity. Okay, plus infinity. So this is what we call integer. Means there is after 0 we will have the value as 1, right? There is another number that we have that is called as a real number, right? That we will call as a real number. Okay. So what is a real number? Can anyone describe me what is a real number? What is a real number, guys? Then it's a very simple question, na? Real number. Array, float. Yes. So real number is basically every possible number that you can think of. For example, here between 0 to 1, we have 0 0.1, 0 0.2, okay, 0 0.3, and so on. Maybe we may have 0.125, okay, or 0.727. That's also a possible number. So real number is basically the number which contains the decimal places as well. Okay, so it also goes from minus infinity to plus infinity, but it also contains some numbers. So between 0 to 1, there are decimals, which is possible. Okay, now the next thing is basically what? Alphabets. Okay, that is your A to Z. Okay, or capital A to capital Z, right? And we also have some special character like hash, dollar, okay, percentile, and all other special characters that we have, which is not a number, right? So these are the things that we have in the real world. Similarly, in Python also, we have these values. Okay, we have these items. So how we can justify it or how we can understand it. So in Python, we call this as a data type. Okay, so what we call it? We call this as a data type. Okay, so there are total multiple data types we have. Okay, but basically at the initial level, we are going to learn three different data types. The first one is called as a int. Okay, int, which is what? Integer. Okay, the second one is called as a float. Okay, so what is a float? Float is basically the decimal type number. Okay, the numbers which contains the decimal values. Okay, and the third one is basically called as a string. Okay, which in short we write it as a str, but its name is string. So this is what? This is a alphanumeric characters. Okay, this is alpha numeric characters. Okay, it contains the alphanumeric characters. Yeah, group of characters, correct. Now, the next thing is, so how to create this in Python or how to work on it with the Python. So for that, we need to understand one thing that is called as a variable. Okay, that is called as a variable. So if I just some space over here. So next thing we need to understand, that is called as a, let me just erase it and add a variable first, and then we will see again. Okay. Now, so variable is something which you guys are already aware of. Variable. Okay, how you are aware of? Let's understand. As I already mentioned, Python is very easy programming language. Actually, every programming language is simple. What is a variable? So variable is basically just like if I ask you, okay, I'm writing a question for you. Very simple question, huh? Just read this question and try to give me the answer. Okay. Or maybe I have this over here. Where is that question? If I already written it, then no need to write it again. One, two. Yeah, data type file. This is. I have already prepared proper notes for you guys, so don't worry about it. Whatever I am explaining on that whiteboard, I have prepared the notes for you. Okay, so you guys can. I will share these files with you. Okay, now come over here. So this is a one question that I have for you. Okay, so a very simple word problem. So the problem says John and Jacobs are brother. John's salary is 5,000, Jacob's salary is 8,000. Okay. Now, rent cost of the family is 600 and food expenditure is 1,200. Other expenditures are 1,000. Very simple data information. Now, if I ask you, can you give me the John salary, Jacob's salary, family income, total rent, and food cost? So it's a very simple problem. It's not a kind of a programming question, but it's a very basic. It's a very basic word maths word problem, like class 6 or 7 grade problem. Okay. So if you have to find this, let's say I'm talking about the family's income. So family income would be what? It will be John's salary plus the Jacob salary. Okay. So as we know that whenever we are working with any type of mathematical problems, we are using some variable. For example, X is I'm taking as a John salary, which is 5,000, right? And then I have Jacob's salary. Let's consider Jacob's salary as Y. So Y is equal to 8,000. Okay. Now, if I ask you, what will be the family income? What will be the family income? Expression, not the value.
X plus Y.
X plus Y. Correct? Okay. Let's say their rental cost is rental cost. Let's represent it with R. So we have a rent over here. Rent is 600 and food is 1,200. Okay. So let's say R is rent. Rent is 600. Okay. And food, let's call it FO or F just. Okay. And this is 1,200. Now, if I ask you, what is their monthly expense? What will be the expression for it? Monthly expense?
R plus F.
R plus F. That is a rental cost plus food cost, right? Now, if I ask you, what is monthly saving?
X plus Y minus R plus F.
X plus Y minus R plus F, right? Is it any difficulty over here? No, that's a basic maths, right? Now, the point is, this is how we are solving something into the real world. Okay. So how we can replicate, as I already mentioned, programming language is actually the replica of the real world. It is what? Programming is what? Programming is simulation. Okay. Programming is nothing, but it is a simulation of a real world problems and solution. Okay. That's it. So now the thing is, if I have to solve a problem like this into the programming, so here we are solving it with the help of some x, y, r, f, or lm and some variables. So how to create the variables into the Python? That's something we have to understand. Okay. So what is a variable? So if you can see that this is a variable, and if I understand the meaning of the variable, variable is what? Variable is nothing, but it is a container. Okay. It is what? It is a container, or let's consider this as a basket. Okay. So there is one basket. Okay. This is Jacob's basket, and you have 5,000 rupees into it. There is another basket, which is Y, and you have 8,000 into it. Okay. Then there is some expenditure. Okay. Let's say there is some expense, that is, let's say, rent. Okay. So some amount this guy will put it over here, some amount this guy will put over here. Right? If equally they are paying for the rent, so this guy will put 300, this guy will put 300. So another basket will be created, which is 600. Okay, so if I add these two values and subtract this, we will get, like, after the food, what will be the saving. Okay, so it is a, yeah, container which holds some type of value. That is what we call as a variable. Okay, now let's see how to create the variables into the Python. And trust me, it is exactly the same. Okay, now come over here. So, yeah, this is the file for the variable. Okay, so if you can see that I have a one variable which I'm creating over here. Okay, just give me a second now. Okay, so here we have the value as x is equal to 50. Now, into the Python, this is how you can write the comment. Okay, what is the comment? So if you want to write some comment or some notes, okay, so for that you just need to add a hash symbol. Okay, and then you just need to write whatever you want. Okay, this is not considered as a program, this is just a notes. Okay, so now this is how we are creating a variable. So understand this variable part. On the left hand side, first of all, we have to write the name of the variable, then an equal to sign, which is called as an assignment operator. Okay, equal to, and then this is called as an assignment operator, and then we have x as name of the variable. This is what? This is the value. So if I come back over here on this screen, so here what I have written, x is equal to 15. Okay, what does this mean? This is my container x. In this container x, I am storing the value 15. Okay, so this value is stored into this variable. Okay, so that's how a variable is created. So wherever I need 15, I can use the variable. Okay, why it is required? So if I just use the value 5,000 over here, okay, I'm not assigning it to x. So if I have to calculate this one or this one, or let's say some other expression, then every time you are going to write this 5,000. Okay, so it will be tedious to work with the values. You cannot use it at multiple places. Okay, so that's why we are using the variables. Okay, simple. Now, if I come over here, let's create a variable. Okay, so very simple. X is equal to 15. I'm creating. Let's run it. Very good. Now, can I print this variable value? Answer is yes, you can do that. So you have the value X, you can run it, and you will get a value 15. Okay. Now, you can use a print statement also to print the value of X. Okay. Here, in this case, you can see that I did not written this. Okay, I did not written it inside a double quotes. Okay, so I'm just writing X, and you can see it is giving me the value as 15. But what if I print A? So it will give me the error, name error. Name A is not defined. Python is expecting that A is a variable and you are trying to print its value, but you did not created A. For example, in this expression, if I give you, if I write the expression x plus m minus n multiply by p, and if I ask you, okay, what was the value? Would you be able to calculate it? Yes or no? Will you be able to do that? No, because you, yes, who said yes? Where is m? What is n? What is p? No, you will not. Okay, because you don't know these values. So you will not able to do that. You will ask, hey, sir, give me the value of m, n, and p. Okay, same thing is with the Python as well. Okay, you had x, so it is using the value of x. Now, if I just write x like this, so it will print the x, only x. So it is actually a string. Okay, I will come to this in just few minutes. Okay, now here we have created one variable and I have given this value as 15. Okay, now let's talk about the data types. So we discussed the three types of data type over here. Okay, integer, float, and string. I have already explained what is written over here. Okay. So here I have created a one variable, x is equal to 5, and you can see 5 is there. Now I want to check in Python, once you create a variable, you can actually check what is the data type of that particular variable by using the type function. Okay, so type and then write x and then just run it. So it is showing what? Integer. Why it is integer? Because it is a normal integer number that you have stored in it. So whatever the value that you have stored into a variable, that variable becomes of that data type. Okay. Now, here I'm storing the value 10.5. Okay. So why variable is holding the value 10.5? If I run the type, what will be the output? If I check the type of 10.5, what will be the output?
Float.
Float. Why? Because it's a decimal number. Okay. So it will give you the value as float. Okay. Because it's a 10.5. Let's suppose I'm writing 50.0 for Z and I'm checking the type of Z. What will be the type?
Integer.
Okay. Anyone else?
Float.
It will be float. Why? Because there is a decimal. Okay. So that's why if I just have this one, 50. Okay. So if there is a 0.0, then it will be float. If there is only 50, then it will be integer. Very simple differentiator. If there is a decimal, then it will be float. Otherwise, it will be integer. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, that is a string. So a string in Python is something that we always write inside a double quotes, or you can write it inside a single quotes as well. Okay, you can use any of the quotes, but cannot use the combination of two. For example, if you are using double quotes starting, then you have to close it with a double quotes. You cannot close it with a single quotes. Okay, so I will just run it. And you can see that now the A is holding the value hello. Okay, and B, so into the B, I'm holding the value, let's say good day. Now, if I check the type of A, what will be the value? Output?
String.
str. Okay, it will be string. So a string is not like you can just store only this small string. You can write whatever you want. Okay. For example, there are 7 days in a week. I'm printing C in Jupyter. Now understand this. I have just written C and it is printing the value. And if I'm writing print C, then also it will give me the value. Okay. But there is a difference. The difference is this is something which is only going to work in Jupyter. Okay. Jupyter is a notebook. Okay. This file, when it is saved in your system, it is basically known as a notebook. Okay. So we are having see IPYNB. I Python NB means notebook file. Okay. There is one more version where it is a .py file. Okay. For example, I have something over here. If I create open a folder. So this one, cell string, spy3, and here I'm creating a one file called as a Python file. Now you can see there are two files. One is a Python file, one is a Jupyter notebook file. If I create a Python file, okay, so this is a Python file, and into this file, if you write X, okay, if you just write the value as X, let's save this file first. Okay. And if I'm going to run this file, then it is not going to show me any output. Okay. It is not going to show me the any output over here. Okay. You can see I ran that file, but it is not giving me any output. Okay. Why? Because there is no print statement into it. If I write print X, let's run it. See, now I ran it second time. So it is giving me the value as 5. Okay. So when we are building any application, the final application, that is mostly in the .py format, not in the notebook format. Okay. So that's why it is working for both. So notebook is something where the development would be very easy. Okay. Every line you can run and you can see the output. But into the .py file, the whole code will run once. Okay. In a one single go. Okay. For example, if I have a big code, okay, if I have any big code, very big code, I had one over here. For example, this code I have. Okay, so this is a code. So I cannot run every line one by one, every line one by one in the .py file. It is all only possible in the Jupyter notebook file. Okay, so that's why print statement is there. Okay, in one of my session, one student asked me this question, sir, if I can print the value like this, why we are using the print then? What's the purpose of it? Okay, so that's the purpose. One more thing is, this can only support only a one single line output printing. For example, if I'm writing C, it is giving me the output. If I'm writing A over here, so see, I have two different words, C and A. Earlier it was printing the value of C, now it is printing just the last value, which is A. It is not printing C. But if I write print C, working fine. If I write print A, okay. So see, it will print both of them, right? So this is just a handy method during the development and during the learning part. Mostly we are going to use the print statement, okay? So before we move further, tell me one thing. Variables and the data type. These two things are clear. What is variable and what is the data type? Like integer, float, and string. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now I have this question for you. Okay. So one thing I like to mention before giving this question, so you can create the variable and you can simply use a Python. For example, x is equal to 15 and y is equal to 10. And if you are writing x is equal to x plus y, okay, sorry, z is equal to, okay. And if you print the value of z, then it will simple sum, okay, because this is the value. Yeah, one more thing. You can actually calculate something, okay, and store it into a variable, and later on you can use it. For example, this is a very simple expression, so it might feels like this is not a very useful thing, but let's suppose you have calculated a integral calculus question, 7 pages, okay, and you submitted an assignment but you did not store it somewhere. Okay, in Python you have calculated and you just printed it on the screen. There is a suppose I am doing x minus y. Is it correct? Yes, absolutely correct. Now, I just ask you one question. Whatever the result of the x plus y and x minus y, can you add it together? Okay. So here you stored the value into z. So I know that I cannot, there is no need of calculating the x plus y again. It is stored over here. But for x minus y, I did not store it somewhere. This value is not in any basket. Okay. So if it is not stored in any basket, then what? I need to calculate it again. Okay. So this is something which is not very good. I have already done this computation. Let's call it as m. Okay. And I will run it. Now if I just write z plus m. Okay. See, you can print the value of m over here. So this is 25 and this is 30. Okay. So that's a pretty simple stuff. Okay, we can store the value into the another variable of whatever the expression that we have done. Now I have this question for you. Everyone, open your Jupyter notebook, okay, and then try to solve this problem. I want to print these values that I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, write a Python code for it. Very simple. I have already solved it. You just need to write the expression. Do that and send me your code in the chat box. Okay, Sandhya, X is this, R is this. Which link, Bhumita?
Sir, the Texas link, sir.
Sorry, which link? Can you come again? Which link you want? I did not understood this link.
Sir,
This is
this
the exercise.
link, sir.
It is written in front of your screen.
Okay, sir.
Guys, only one person has given the answer. Is it that much difficult? It's pretty simple, no?
We can't able to understand, sir, what is we need to take, how we need to run program in Python.
Is it a Python question? First of all, tell me that.
No, sir, it is not Python, but we need to do in Python only now.
Mm-hmm.
Normal way means we can't able to do. Python way means some uh, strings
You
it will.
understood how to create variable?
Yeah.
You un
Yeah, sir.
uh,
0.2 and 50.20 is there means it is a float. It will be considered.
where is 50.0? It is 5,000,
Uh,
no?
no, I am telling examples themselves.
Acha,
Variable
acha.
means.
Okay. So you understood this? What is x is equal to 15? What is the
Yeah,
meaning of
sir.
it in Python? What is the meaning of this in Python?
Integer.
This is the data type integer. It means that x is a variable which is
Hmm.
holding the value 15, correct?
Hmm.
What is this then?
Y is equal to 10 also, it will be considered integer data.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a integer data type,
Hmm.
but y is a variable which is holding the value 10, right?
Okay, sir.
Correct?
Hmm.
Now,
Yes, sir.
here we have written z is equal to x plus y. What is the value of x plus y?
X plus Y, both the integer values we are taking there.
But what is the output of this particular value x plus y? What will be the value of it?
It will be 25.
25. So this expression will eventually change to z is equal to 25,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
what is the meaning of this in Python? Z is equal to 25. That 25 is stored in the value z, variable z, correct?
Hmm.
So that z is coming over here,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I ask
Hmm.
that you have a John salary which is 5,000, correct?
Yes,
Jacob
sir.
salary which is 8,000, means
We
you
will do
have
place means it will become
yeah. So you have a two input variables over here. First of
yes.
all,
Hmm.
okay, one is John's salary, another one is the Jacob salary, right?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Now, second thing is we have a rent cost.
Hmm.
So the rent will be 600. Okay,
Yeah.
you are paying 600 and food cost is 1200.
Hmm.
Okay, and the other expenses are 1000.
Hmm.
Okay, now if I ask you that, okay, these are some numbers. So
Hmm.
first of all, can you convert these numbers into the variables?
Yes, sir. X is equal to 5,000.
Hmm.
Y is equal to 8,000.
Let me write it with you. X is equal to 5,000, Y is equal
Hmm.
to 8,000.
8,000.
Hmm. Then
After that, we need to do another
there
numbers
is a
also we need to take here.
take it into the variable. So rent. So
Hmm.
what variable I can take? Let's take R is equal
Is
to,
equal to 600. F means a food.
okay,
F is equal
food
to
is equal to
12,000. 1,200.
1200. Okay. And other expenses, let's call it as O, is
Oh,
equal
okay,
to
sir. 1,000.
1000.
1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Any
Hmm.
problem up to this part?
No, sir.
Very good. Now, what is the first question that it is asking?
John's salary.
So what is the John salary?
5,000.
So you have to print the value of X, correct?
X.
So how you will print the value of X?
Print the X val.
So you will just write print, okay, and X, that is a variable. This is how we are printing the value of the
We need
variable.
to give colons in up.
No, that is for the string.
Okay,
We
sir.
have to print the
Yes.
value of variable. So just the name of the variable would be enough.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Understood now.
So this is what John's salary.
Hmm.
Correct. What is the
Yes.
next thing it is asking?
Jocko's salary.
So how I will write it? Print
Print AY.
Y. Very good. Okay. What will be the family income? So John and Jacob are brother. So what will be the family income?
Family income is we need to add, we add X plus Y, we need to add. After that,
Mhm. After
family
that,
income, it will be
yeah, that's
considered.
just a income. So
Yes.
income would be X plus Y. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we can assign it into some variable.
Oh,
Okay. Let's call
yes.
it as a family so that we can use it later on. So
Hmm.
family income would be what? X plus Y. Okay. And I can print the value of family over here.
Family.
So 8 and 5 is 13,000. Okay.
Yes.
What is the total rent and the food cost?
Hmm.
So rent and food cost, I will call it as RF. What will be the rent and food cost?
Rent means 600.
Mhm.
We
So I will
already
write 600 or I will write R.
R, sir, we need to write ours.
Okay,
R
R.
plus F.
Very good. So I can print the value of RF.
R plus.
Okay.
Hmm.
RF I
R.
have stored rent and
R.
food.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Now I will ask for what is the family's total savings.
Hmm.
So this is a income. This is a expenditure. So what will be the total saving?
Income, expenditures.
These two values are the income,
Or
correct?
yes,
So,
sir.
so you have a family income. If you
Hmm.
subtract these three, then you
Hmm.
will get a total
Hmm.
saving, correct?
R minus F type.
So, yes. So you are going to have a family income,
Hmm.
right?
Yes, sir.
Minus Then
Family
you have to
expenditure.
family expenditure. So you have a rent and food cost is we have already calculated
Yes, sir.
RF, but there is
1800.
some others also. Other expenditure is 1000. So we have to
Yes.
subtract that as well.
Hmm.
Okay, so I can write it as savings
Hmm.
is equal to this. So I can print this value. Okay, we got
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
Now it is clear how to create the variable and how to perform some basic computations.
Yes, sir. Now it is clear. Thank you, sir.
Very good. Okay, guys who have already done it, excellent job. Okay, so this is how you can do that. Now, coming to the next point, first of all, before moving forward, anyone have any doubts or any question in this particular problem? Not in the problem actually, but the Python implementation. It's clear to everyone? If anyone have anything, you guys can ask.
Yes.
No? Okay. Now, coming to the next thing, that is a very important thing is whenever we are creating the variable. So right now I have created the variable as X, Y, R, F, O. Okay. This is not a good way of creating any variable. Okay. It will work, but later on when you see the code, so if I just show you, if I just put the value like this, okay, and now you have a solution just below the problem, but again you have to retrace everything. Okay, and if two values are collided, for example, my other expenditure is also 1200. Okay, or let's say this person is earning 1000. John's salary is 1000. Okay, now in this case, it will be very confusing, which is the expenditure and which is the income. Okay, because you have O is 1000, X is 1000, and you don't know what is O, what is X. Okay, so that's why what we generally do is we are creating the variable like this. Okay, so you can actually create the variable name like this, like we have over here. Space is not allowed. Okay, you can not create a variable like John salary is equal to 15. Okay, this is not allowed. Okay, if you want two words into your variable name, you have to use the underscore. That is the only separator that is allowed in Python. Okay, so you have to write John's salary like this, then it will work. Okay, so here, this is how I created the variable. John's salary is 5000, Jacob's salary 8000, rent cost is 600, food cost is 1200, other expenses is 1000, and what is the family income? So now you can see how easy it is to understand the whole program. And if you give it to anyone, they will easily able to understand it. Okay, it enhances the readability of the code. What will be the family income? That is John's salary plus Jacob's salary. What is the total cost of rent and food? So total underscore rent underscore food is equal to rent cost plus the food cost. Then total saving, family income minus total rent and food minus the other expenses. Okay, so these are the three values. Now I will just run it. Now let's understand one more function. Print statement have a lot of functionalities. Okay, one by one I will teach you. Up to this point, you have printed something like this: print hello. Okay, you have printed a string like this, as well as you have printed a variable like this. Okay, the thing is, into the same statement, if I want to print a variable also, then how you can do that? So that's pretty simple. You just need to put a comma after your string part. Okay, once you completed the string, then you put a comma and then you can write the name of the variable. Okay, now if you run it, so you can see you will get an output. Hello, 5000. Okay, so I ask these questions. Okay, John's salary, Jacob's salary. So here I'm printing everything. So just a print is not enough because I don't even know what is X. Okay. And it is a value as 5,000. So that's not correct. Okay. We need to understand some message. We have to write some message. So here I have written a message first, then my value. Okay. So if now you can see I had 5 questions. Okay. What is the John salary? So this is a John salary, which is 5,000. What is the Jacob salary? That is a 8,000. Family income, that is 13,000. Total rent and the food cost, 1,800. And total savings is 10,200. Okay. You can want to just beautify it. You can do that as well. Just put a colon and then an extra space. Okay. Extra space is not even required. By default, it will add in space. Just put a colon. Okay. If you want, you can modify, you can beautify your output. That depends on you. Okay. Now you can see I'm getting a very great output. Okay. Now, so point is, whenever you are creating, so if I ask, is this incorrect? Whatever I have done over here, is this incorrect? Answer is no. This is not incorrect. This is correct. But is this efficient way? No, this is not an efficient way. Okay. So this is an efficient way. This is how you have to create the variable, and this is how you have to return the outputs. Okay. So that's a pretty simple stuff. Okay. A lot of people have given different answer. Okay, so we can write it like this. A lot of persons have calculated in the past. Okay, in my notebook, and they have given it. So one person will say, "Can I calculate one by one and then print it?" Yes, you can do that. So here I'm writing a print statement and then John's salary. Okay, then printing Jacob's salary. Then family income. Here I calculated family income and then I printed it. Okay. Then I calculated the total rent and food cost. I calculated it and then I printed. So sequence is something you can change according to your requirement. Okay. That will also give you the same output. Okay. So how you are arranging your stuff, that is completely depend on you. Okay. That's pretty simple stuff and it's completely depend on you. Okay. Now, so today we had discussed what? We had discussed the data types in Python. Okay. We had extended our knowledge of the print statements. Then we discussed about the integer, float, and strings. Then we had discussed about the type, how to check the type. Then after that, we had discussed about the variables. Okay. Then after that, we had discussed about how to write the variables in Python. Then a better way of writing the variable as a programmer's perspective. Okay. So this is a file. From next class, I will do this in the Google Colab, a notebook, and I will share that whole notebook to you guys. Okay, so you guys will have the live code every time. Okay, this is right now running my local machine, but I will run it on the Google Colab from the next class. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today's class. Let's meet day after tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to have a little quiz for you. Okay. So not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we are going to have a one quiz and then we will start some operators in Python. Okay. Means we will going to discuss how the plus works, minus, then multiplication, then division. Okay. Then remainder operator, which we called as modulo, flow division operator. Okay. Then after that, we will also discuss the exponential operator. Suppose you have to write 2 to the power 4. So how to write it and how does it work? Okay. Then we will discuss operator precedence. BODMAS, remember? Operator precedence. Okay. Basics of BODMAS. Okay. Then we will discuss about the relational operator. Okay, before that, we will discuss one more data type called as a Boolean. Okay, one more data type we will discuss tomorrow that will called as a Boolean. And it only gives two values, true and false. Okay, and then after the Boolean, we will discuss the relational operator where you will basically learn about the less than, greater than, then greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equal to, and not equal to. Okay, these are the relational operators. So this will be the agenda of our day after tomorrow's class. Okay, so if you have time, just give a read about it. Okay, and please revise. Try to write something. Try to code something from your own. After tomorrow's class, means day after tomorrow's class, I will give you assignments as well. Right now, we did not studied enough concept so that you can solve any assignment. But after day after tomorrow's class, you guys will able to do that. Okay. So yeah, that's it from my side today. Let's meet day after tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Bye everyone.